In the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, and we are back. Good afternoon. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. This is a very special show today. We have been inundated. We do all of our shows, our Los Angeles and our California shows, and we have been inundated. People wanting to know when our mortgage show was going to be coming back on. And because we're in Florida, we don't have an ear to the ground, but we have our expert in mortgage home loans. Let me introduce you to Hayan Ulkim.
Hi there, Steve. How are you?
Bro, who would have known our show this month would be right around all these fires?
Well, I want to say maybe the insurance companies might have known because they're the ones that canceled all the policies, right? So they knew something was coming down.
Exactly. Listen, you are one of the top mortgage brokers in the company. And I got to tell you, you could not. Well, we just didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't even know if you were going to even be able to come on today. But we have been inundated by people, our listeners, saying, how about that mortgage show that you do? And hey, here it is. And we're going to try to get everything in 25 minutes today. First of all, are you and your family safe?
We are very safe. We're not evacuated, but we are in the area that's been warned that anything can happen. But luckily, the fires have been contained as of right now. We have blue skies again. There isn't embers and this raining down on us anymore. So things have picked up for the people that have not been devastated, but there are a lot of people, family and friends that have been affected. And there's a lot of scrambling as in, where are they going to live? Luckily there wasn't any tragic, that many people that lost their lives. It was very limited because everybody evacuated, but there's a lot of people that lost their homes. They don't have anywhere to live. And people need a place to live. If you've got kids, even if you don't have kids, but like you're single, you still need a place to sleep, eat, and everybody, a lot of those people lost everything, home, car, clothing, memories, things they've saved, family heirlooms, all that is gone.
The biggest question we're getting from people are, if I've lost my home, do I still have to make mortgage payments?
If you're
That's been the number one question, Brian.
I understand. They think you would think if you lost your home in the fires, you would get a reprieve and not have to pay your mortgages, but that's not how it works. You still have to pay those mortgages that the house might have caught on fire, but the debt has not, and it's still there. And if you lose the property in foreclosure, getting that insurance money to rebuild is going to go away. So it just makes things a lot worse. But if somebody does have
How did
financial
the
situation and that is unable to make the payment, there are a lot of different programs these banks are offering to allow a some time, or they do like a deferred payment and give you time to catch up. As much as people think that banks are heartless, no, they're not. I mean, if you have tragedies, you have issues of this magnitude, or even smaller issues, if you call the bank, they will work with you. The banks are not in the business of foreclosing on people. So they are human beings in these banks that are willing to work with people that have gone through disasters.
Well, the follow-up question to that everybody wants to know is, how do I make my mortgage payments and buy a new home and have a second mortgage payment? How am
Well,
I this is them saying, how am I going to do this?
Unfortunately, this is very fresh. It hasn't been even been put out fully yet. So it's the fire still raging. To make decisions like that is very hard. And, sometimes in life you need to have patience. The first thing you should do is call your insurance company or your
If you have
insurance
one,
agent. If
if
you
they
have
haven't dropped you.
Exactly. If you have insurance, you call your insurance agent and tell them, hey, I was affected and there is rental coverage, and they provide you funds to go ahead and be able to find a place to live, and they would take care some part of that rent so you have a roof over your head. That's the first and foremost. Now everything else, unfortunately, they're materialistic things and you could always buy and rebuild, but
Right.
you need a roof over your head. So finding a place to live and having the insurance companies cover some of that cost if you're unable to do so yourself is the first thing that somebody needs to do.
I heard Josh Altman last night. He's part of the $1 Million Listing Los Angeles, and he was saying inventory was already low, and his phones are ringing off the wall. People going, "Where am I going to live?" And he was explaining how tough it is. But we're talking about mortgages. There's people who've lost their businesses too.
Absolutely, absolutely. You better hope that they weren't dropped on their business insurance, and they had insurance. Some of the mom and pop people didn't have insurance at all. The small businesses, but the bigger businesses, you would hope that they had insurance and they could protect themselves. There's usually a loss of business aspect to these insurance policies that you're affected. You can go ahead and collect. I know FEMA has a few programs that are offering to help people, but it's very limited. It's very minimal, and there's only so much you're going to be able to get out of FEMA.
Are you getting phone calls, anything related to the fire at all, Julian?
No, it is too early for that for us to get calls because it's not fully done. We don't know where the market is going to go in that area. Um, you know, uh, right now it's still fresh, but we do anticipate getting a lot of uptake for land financing and construction loans once people are able to clean up and be able to get plans and permits to be able to build some of those homes.
The name of your company is P as in Bullion, B as in Brooklyn Financial Group. Um, Tell people about your company.
Well, we've been in business for 17 years. We funded over 4,000 hard money loans and other kind of loans in the state of California. We specialize in people that have had difficulty or need to close on a transaction quickly or need financing to be done and completed within 7 to 10 business days. Where the company you call, we listen to what your needs and provide you a program that fits what your short term and long term goals are.
So, with the fire and people losing their homes, aren't people out there looking right now to buy another home and need something fast?
I think the rental market, from what I've experienced in talking to real estate agents locally, the rental market in the West Side and more prominent areas of Los Angeles are the high in demand. I hear about people being price gouged. Before the
Ah,
fires, there were the 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom home might have been for like $7,000, $8,000 a month, and now you're seeing that same unit go up to about 12 to 15,000 a month. So
wow.
there's a lot of price gouging going on, and that is a violation to price gouge. It's a
Sure.
federal law that prohibits price gouging, but unless somebody reports it, nobody's going to get incriminated.
I got to tell you, because we do mortgage companies throughout the country. You're one of the few mortgage companies that talks about hard money loans. Will you explain that to people?
Yeah, hard money loans are products that we can overlook challenges, or we can overlook something that needs to be done quickly. We help to make things done quickly. We're like a uncle lender, like you would go to your uncle for help, but we're the uncle. We're there to
Oh,
make things happen for you and push along your transaction in a make sense way where it benefits the borrower and benefits us at the same time.
so your company can actually save somebody a lot of legwork talking to different loan companies. This is what you do. I mean, you've got a specialty that I got to tell you, again, I've not heard a lot of mortgage companies talk about hard money loans.
Well, one of the big products that we have is a wholesale product, meaning that because clients and the retail clients and actual borrowers don't know about our services, they go through a mortgage broker, and because the mortgage brokers know our business and what we do and how we provide out of box financing, they'll bring us a client and be like, hey, this borrower didn't qualify for a conventional loan, or the other lender they had dropped the ball on them, and now they still want to proceed with this particular transaction. And we need somebody to come in, give them that financing to help them out where they need. And then within anywhere from 3 months to 2 years, they're going to go ahead and do a conventional loan or sell the property and pay us off. So we provide that value that's needed to create that opportunity or fulfill somebody's desires and wishes.
I guess, one of the biggest advantages of this hard money loans is speed, right?
Yes, we're very quick in making decisions. When somebody brings us this transaction, we try to have an answer for them immediately. We've looked at so many different lending opportunities and different scenarios for borrowers that we can do things just instantly. We know we have the expertise. We've done the funding. We put our money where it counts and actually close the deal where it needs to happen quickly.
What do you see happening with interest rates? I know, get your crystal ball out.
Well, this would be my opinion and what I've seen from the Fed and what they're trying to achieve. Currently, the Fed was hoping to have low unemployment, having unemployment go up, um, and they wanted a inflation number of 2%. Unfortunately, fortunately, employment is very high in um, the nation all around. and people are if they're looking for a job, they can find a job. So unemployment has not risen. If anything, it has decreased. And inflation, I mean, I'm sure you see it in Florida, but we see it in California, and we're going to see a lot more local inflation with the fires now because everything is going to be more expensive for us.
Exactly. What about you work with a lot of investors, don't you?
We do. Yes. Yes.
And they do a lot of fix up and flip it projects. And that's one of the things that you specialize in also.
Yes, we do a lot of fix and flip, and right now there's a lot of demand, but at the end of the day, there isn't that much supply, and because supply is low, values are strong, even though interest rates and affordability is down.
What about people just buying raw land now? Because wow, there's a lot of raw land out there now seeing pictures.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to it. Those Pacific Palisades and Altadena and places that have been ravaged, those properties, those raw lands, are not going to be buildable for some time. So, and the
What does that
value,
mean, Pion? When you, because I keep hearing sometime, are we talking years?
possibly currently, I own a lot of real estate in the Los Angeles area. And if I want to convert a garage into an ADU, it would take anywhere from 6 to 9 months just to get an approval for that permit.
Is
Now,
that going to change at all, though?
I don't believe so because the
Okay,
city, uh, they don't have the capacity to handle so many new submissions. The only way that they're going to be able to streamline the process is what they did in Paradise, California, about 3, 4 years ago when they had those fires and that destroyed the whole city of Paradise. If you look that up, you'll see the devastating fires that affected our area. What the city did over there, they came out with 10 different layouts, depending on your lot size, that you can go in and say, okay, I want this layout for myself or this style of home, and they would give you the permits over the counter, meaning that all the regulation and everything has already been met. All you got to do is go pull it. In the Paradise and Pasadena fires, if the city comes and says, hey, here are different layouts, right, then you can go and pull your permits and that would streamline it. But it's California. People like to be different. They don't want to have the same house as a person right across the street from them or 5 houses down. So they're gonna want their own plans and permits to be approved. So that is going to take a long time. Luckily, Governor Newsom came and said that they're removing the coastal commission requirements for the Malibu and Palisades area. That should save some people about 6 months to a year, but still getting your architect to come and draw up
right.
plans, submit to the city, that's going to take some time. But the other problem is these homes that don't have utilities. The utilities to a lot of these properties were completely destroyed. So God knows when the city is going to be able to fix those utilities and flush the area, so they can allow people to start to build. That's a different question. They could want people to start building as quickly as possible, but the feasibility of being able to build is a completely different question.
We just got the coolest text. This is pretty amazing. One of our listeners right now just said how much he's enjoying the show. And he said, please give out the phone number. I think a lot of people will want to write down this company's phone number when we get ready to buy again. I thought that was really, it's 877-700-3703. I'll give it to you again. Please write this down, 877-700-3703. And the website is www Cal, C-A-C-A-L, hardmoney.com. And I tell you, your company has been our expert for the last year, and we are so lucky to have you. I wanted to save the last 3 or 4 minutes. Anything you want to say? There's a lot of people watching right now, listening, a lot of people listening um, that have had damage to their home, lost their home, children's school, work. What can you say to all the listeners? I wanted to save the last 3 minutes for this.
I think the first process should be grieving. With anybody going through loss of any kind, human, property, animal, grieving is the number one thing. And not being hysterical about making decision and making rash decisions. Everything has a process, and you need to go through that grieving process. Once you're done with grieving and you're able to think clearly, then you need to talk to your insurance companies, and if you do have insurance,
Yeah.
and see where you need to be and what they're providing you. If they are undercutting what your um, worth and what your coverage amount is, if you need to get an attorney, then you need to make that rash decisions, because insurance companies are not in the business of paying people. They're going to try to get the best deal for themselves. Even though you've been devastated, they care, but they don't really care. They care about their bottom line at the end of the day. So you need somebody in your corner that's going to fight for you too. So getting an attorney should be one of the top things that you should look for. Right now, there are a lot of Los Angeles-based attorneys that are willing to provide a less commission or less fees to these devastated homeowners to be able to help fight these insurance companies.
Are they real estate attorneys, Pulyan?
There are all
Is that
sorts of attorneys. There are the real estate attorneys, they're PI attorneys, they're insurance focused attorneys. There's also
okay?
attorneys. And insurance, when you have an insurance claim, it's a lot easier to get that outcome that you want. So
Right.
there should have somebody to help them and get through that. And then once all that's sorted out, then of course you're going to start rebuilding, and with a positive attitude to try to make the best deal for yourself.
I think that is incredible information. Pulyan, listen, your city is in our prayers. I'm so glad we had you on today. It's perfect timing. And you'll be back again with us next month, and we'll be replaying the show next week, which we will
Thank you.
let you know. Again, the number is 877-700-3703. It's www.calhardmoney.com. And we'll see you next month, Pulyan.
All right, then. Thank you, Steve. Have a good one.
Thank you, bud.
Bye-bye.
What a great company. What a great company. And so sad what's going on over there. Hey, that's going to do it for us today. We'll be back again with you next week with more Ask the Experts.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.